Ready when you guys are.
Great, thank you. Welcome to the Park and Recreation Commission regular meeting of January 16th, 2025. The time is 6:01 p.m. Becky, can you call the roll?
Chair Sandoval,
Here.
Commissioner Cabrales.
Here.
Okay, Commissioner Emerson will be absent this evening. Commissioner Gutierrez will be in a little late, and Commissioner Pasternak.
Here.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. We're calling the first item approval of the regular meeting minutes of November 21st, 2024. Now I'd like to give an opportunity for questions from commissioners. I'd like to request a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes. First, I'm abstaining from that.
I move to approve minutes.
I'd second that.
All right. Chair Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales.
Yes.
And Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
All right. Motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you. The public is welcome to address the commission at this time on matters not listed on the agenda that are within its jurisdiction. Comments may be no longer than 3 minutes and should be respectful to the community. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to share public comments?
I think this
We're all
is
staff.
entirely staff comprised team that's here this evening, and at this point, we're still no longer accepting, at this time, no longer accepting comments from.
Great. I will now close public comment. We don't have any special presentations this month, so we'll move on to the regular agenda. Agenda item 3A, Recreation and Childcare Division 2024 Annual Program Report.
Well, happy New Year, everyone. It's great to see you all. 2025. We are going to kick things off with the bank here. We have a full house of our staff team, and I'm going to turn it over to them. But just as a refresher, we historically have brought a lot of independent program reports your way. We're taking a slightly different approach this year, and so I'm going to turn it over to the team to lead this presentation, which is going to be a more comprehensive look at all of our recreation programs and activities that we offer in fiscal year 2023. So Steve, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you for having us this evening. The Recreation Division is essential in creating community through San Rafael through people, parks, and programs. The mission of the Library and Recreation Department is to enrich our community through discovery, learning, and play. We build community by creating experiences that spark curiosity and enable lifelong learning. As Craig said, this evening we've come to you all together as one report rather than spreading it out all through the year. It's also exciting for us because we're rarely ever together. And the program coordinators are here too, which I don't think you all are exposed to as often as you are some supervisors. The program coordinators all took video footage of their respective facilities, and Terra Linda's program coordinator, Christina Farang, has compiled them into a little video that'll kick off our report. Unfortunately, Senior Supervisor Debbie Yonkin was unable to join us this evening, but she asked me to announce that although she has worked for us in the past, Christina is our newest program coordinator, and we're all very excited to have her on. We're gonna let Christina kick us off here.
Oh, do you have to share?
You get
Yeah, let me switch that setting here. Give me just a second.
Oh, I think flooding.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter, why do you like Falkirk?
I'm one of the master gardeners who volunteers here, and we just take such delight and having this wonderful space for the demonstration gardens. It's a place where we can share our knowledge with the general public and actually also train up our newer members. There are actually two other reasons that I'd like to share with you. One, as you can see in the background, is the greenhouse. We use that for our raising plants that we sell to basically finance our public outreach activities. So it's very important to us to be able to do that. And then finally, I have to say that the staff here is just so supportive and it makes a big difference for us. I'd like to say thank you for that.
Why do you enjoy coming to the community center and pool?
I enjoy coming to the community center pool. First off, because I was swimming with the Taylor de Orcas. I've been swimming with them for 10 years now. Secondly, I work at the pool and it's really fun. I have a lot of friends working. And thirdly, I play basketball here all the time and it's just a cool spot to hang out with friends.
Awesome, thank you.
Hola, soy Kenneth, conocido en mi clase de español divertido como Benito. Me siento como en casa con los otros estudiantes y nuestra profesora. Ven y unite a nosotros aquí en el centro recreativo de San Rafael, donde podrás divertirte de verdad. Hasta pronto.
I'm John.
This is the kids. We're really happy to be here.
At the San Rafael Community Center, taking a stretched out strength class with Barbara, and it's fantastic. And everybody that works here behind the desk has been so helpful, making it all a decent process.
Yeah, yes, for having us.
What's your name? Lenny, and how old are you? 9. And your name? And how old are you? 10. And what's your name? And how old are you, Anthony? And what is your favorite thing about the Albert Day Park Community Center? All right, and you? And how old are you, Anthony? All right, thank you guys.
Kaya, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. The first one is, what are your favorite things about camp?
If it's summer camp, then I like going on field trips with people, and if it's normal camp, I just like hanging out with the people, and yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about Africa?
Probably, I like how my friends come after school, and we get to, go on the playground and just have fun. I do love fun.
What is your favorite part about the community center and pool?
Well, one of my favorite parts is the fact that, a lot of the community use it. We walk our dogs through the park, literally every day. And, meet up with other dogs, and it's a great meeting place for everybody in the community to talk about all the great things that you're doing down here.
And what's your favorite part about coming to the pool?
Well, I've been coming to the pool for 60 years almost, since it was conceived, and I love it. It's a wonderful pool. I'm a lap swimmer, and this is one of the better pools, and the staff really does their best to try to get us extended time of the year. And it's really, it's a godsend for me. It's been healthy.
It's home with home. And a community feels like home here. Been coming a long time.
All right. What do you like about Falkirk?
We are here with one of the participants from the multicultural older adult program. What's your name?
Armando Camacho.
Monica Camacho. How long have you lived in the Canal neighborhood?
I've been living for 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
You attend a multicultural program on Wednesdays. What's your favorite part about the program?
So everything, I just like to chat with people and I like to, play bingo and all the activities we have.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Sherman, I have a question, or actually two questions. What is your favorite thing about camp?
I love doing all the activities and field trips.
Okay. And what about after camp? What's your favorite thing?
The snack when we're hungry. Teachers, which is really nice. And doing sports and the outdoor.
Thank you. But if you had to pick one thing, what would it be?
Don't go run around.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
All right, tell me, why do you like the community garden?
I used to work with the kids and we had the gardening every day and I grew up and I'm a nature person, but I live in an apartment. I have a lot of indoor plant, but nothing compared when you have an outdoor place. And finally, I have my plots and every day I go there, I have a purpose. I'm happy. I could witness the stem of the life. You plant them, you use them, you share with everybody. It's amazing community there, including Patty. And then by the winter, it's like a life. You have to harvest them and start all over. Wait for 1-2 months and start all over. And I'm looking forward to be 20 more years.
Hi, my name is Leah, and I've been a member of the San Rafael Community Center for the past about 15 years. I enjoy coming here to play bingo with my friends. The staff here is amazing, always trying to help us when we need help. The favorite part coming here is being together, being with other people, and again, the friendly staff.
We're here with Addison, and she's gonna talk a little bit about herself. What's your name? What's the? And I'm not going to represent it, so what is your favorite thing to do as a center? All right, thank you, Addison.
So grateful to be a part of this wonderful program, and we just want to say.
All put together. There's a PowerPoint. We knew all those people couldn't fit in the room with us here too, so we had to record them and bring them in out virtually.
Probably share again. We'll see. Very exciting to start, yeah.
Okay, so we get to go first with the Albert J. Boral Community Center. The Albert J. Boral Community Center, Pickleweed Park, have been referred to as the center of the canal community as they serve as a gathering place for the neighborhood. In addition to city-run programs, the city partners with local organizations to provide programs as well as space for nonprofits, private businesses, and individuals to rent and hold activities for the community or their families. Unique to the other centers, we have the Pickleweed Advisory Committee, of which Andre serves as the commission's chair, or representative rather, and continues to be an essential part of the operation of the community center. Through the committee, the center is able to co-sponsor vital programs being offered to the canal community by providing the facility at a reduced rate, which also saves the city staffing expenses had the city implemented the program itself. The Pickleweed Advisory Committee has the authority to accept or reject rental fee reduction waiver requests for the city for the city center and park, not to exceed a combined total of $144,200 annually through the co-sponsorship program. This ability, combined with the city council setting the Floro Community Center's nonprofit and resident rental rates at half the cost of the city's other community centers, has proven successful in allowing multiple agencies to also provide a variety of programs to the community, as well as making it more accessible and reasonable for residents themselves to utilize the center. And now I'd like to introduce our program coordinator, Stephen Rogers, who's going to talk more specifically about our events and programs at the center.
So I'm the program coordinator at the Armadillo Borough Community Center, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about our special events and some of our programs that we have to offer at our center. The Armadillo Borough Community Center and Pickleweed Park not only host special events for private renters and organizations, but community events such as the popular Movies in the Park series, with a community outreach event prior to showtime conducted by various city departments and local nonprofit organizations. The City of San Rafael Police Department Touch of Truck event and San Rafael's annual Dia de los Muertos event, which is a collaboration between city staff and the Multicultural Center of Marin and many other individuals. Aside from just our special events, we also have programs, and I'm responsible for coordinating with our independent contractors to get those programs running. I help them with making sure their classes are updated in our system, getting their promotional materials out to the public so they're aware of their classes that they're advertising for the season. A couple of our programs that we do have, I head those and I lead, I facilitate and lead those activities. One of those is our Junior Giants program, which is a free baseball program that we run during the summer. Free of cost for the kids, so they get uniforms, hats, gloves, they get tickets and stuff to the games. All free of charge. Annually, we have around 290 kids that participate in the program, so it's a pretty successful program. We also have our San Rafael Basketball Academy, which is a fairly new program that we started to give the kids in the canal opportunity to learn the sport of basketball. There's a lot of basketball programs that are out there, but the price for those programs could run you a couple of $100s. So we found a way to make it affordable for the kids in our community to come out and enjoy basketball. Right now, annually, we have around 69 kids that participate in the program, and that's growing every year, so that program's getting bigger. We also have programs for our older adults. We have our Multicultural Older Adults program, which runs every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And our seniors are allowed to come in, they get a free lunch. We have activities like bingo, like you saw Armando talking about in there. We have bingo, karaoke, painting. We have special guests come in, whether it be performers, or we'll have PD come in and talk to them about safety and things like that. And we annually have around 980 participants in that program as well. That's our center in a nutshell.
I'm Patty McCulley. I'm the program coordinator at the Falkirk Cultural Center, as well as I oversee the 2 community gardens. So at Falkirk, this past year, we hosted 30 weddings and 25 other events, including memorials, private workshops, parties, etc. This year we had 6 art shows and featured approximately 140 artists. We currently have a multimedia show titled Memories. I put a card there for you, taking place. There are more than 70 local artists participating, and I hope you can drop by one day and see it, because it is a fabulous show. Just this week, we've had 75 people stop by, so it's a lot. Our watercolor class continues to be popular, and the pastel class has a steady group of interested students. We held a family nutcracker workshop in November, and it turned out great. And it was interesting because it wasn't just the typical family that you think of. We had a couple of groups of friends that came, adult friends, that came and participated, as well as grandparents that came with their grandchildren, and then families that came and made 2-foot tall nutcrackers, and they were super happy with it. And so we're hoping to do that again in November, because they all want to make a different nutcracker from what they told me. The Marin Master Gardeners is a group that functions at Falkirk every Monday with numerous volunteers. They're out there maintaining and refreshing the 6 demonstration gardens that are on site. Throughout the week, members can also be seen in the greenhouse propagating seeds for their annual plant sales. This year's sales will be the pollinator plants, March 1st at Falkirk. The ever popular tomato sale, don't forget you guys, because I know you all like to grow the tomatoes, April 12th. And that is at a couple of different locations in Marin County. And then they have the succulent plant sale, June 14th at Falkirk. And so I had a little trivia question for all of you. I don't know, Darcy and Christy that can't participate though. Does anyone have a guess as to how many tomato seedlings the Master Gardeners grew in 2024 in the greenhouse at Falkirk? Any guesses?
I'd say around 4,700.
Good guess, good guess. Anybody else? It was 5,400 seedlings that they grew in the greenhouse.
Wow.
So, and they sold pretty much all of them, so. So now I'm gonna move on to community gardens. Being a member in the community gardens is as popular as ever. We get calls every month to be added to the wait list. This year at the Terra Linda Community Garden, gardeners donated 425 pounds of produce that they grew in their plots to the food bank. And that is, you know, on top of all the other things that they took home. So there's a lot of produce being grown at the garden. We had 8 plots become available and were able to fill those spaces from the wait list. We went through 25 names on the wait list to fill those 8 vacancies. We currently have 71 people still on the wait list for the Terra Linda Garden. At the Canal Community Garden, we had several successful garden work days where the gardeners came out and prepared soil and took care of maintenance issues outside the garden as well as inside. The Marin Master Gardeners came out twice to the Canal Garden to train the gardeners on how to prune the fruit and citrus trees. And we were very grateful for that because that hadn't happened in quite some time. We had about 8 gardeners participate in each of those trainings. So hopefully this next year, they'll be able to do it on their own. Karina Ramirez Cortez from the Multicultural Center of Marin and gardener Paula Hammond spearheaded the Marigold Project, where thousands of seeds were planted in common areas throughout the garden, as well as in many of the garden plots. And the marigolds were used in altars at the Dia de los Muertos celebration at the Alboro Community Center. This year, 7 garden plots became available and the plots were filled from the wait list. There are currently 9 people on the wait list and 5 current gardeners that want to move to a larger plot, to a full-size plot. This year we had a few challenges out at the garden. All of our wheelbarrows, which there was 5 of them, were stolen. And then we had several months where our hoses were continuously being stolen from the garden, as well as water and crops being stolen. We purchased new equipment. The hoses we purchased multiple times and have had to put them under lock and key, much to the dismay of the gardeners. But we worked very closely with the police department and they did their very best to recover many of the hoses, but they often weren't reusable once we got them back. So we'll see how this next year goes with that situation, hopefully better. So that's it for my report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
All right, my name is Darcy Shalou. I'm the recreation supervisor here at the Cedarville Community Center. So I oversee the community center here, Albert Park, Albert Stadium, and our tennis courts here and over at Freitas. I also help maintain and continue our partnerships with the Golden Heirs, which is a senior organization that meets here. Marin Bocce, which is right next door, and Santa Fe Girls Softball. Golden Heirs have been a partner with us since 1975. Marin Bocce since 1994, and Santa Fe Girls Softball since 1997. We have a large auditorium space here, performance stage, 4 community rooms that we rent out, the lounge that we're currently in right now, and host office space for the Golden Heirs. And that's just kind of an overview of what I oversee, but I'm going to introduce you to Azadeh, who is our program coordinator here at the Cedarville Community Center, to talk more about our programs and events.
Thank you, Darcy. Welcome everyone to the Cedarville Community Center. I'm happy to have you guys here. I've been in this role for about a year and a half, and I oversee 13 contact classes, and our instructor lead classes from the youngest at the age of 6 months to the oldest at 92 years old. And this center offers fitness classes, language classes, a theater program that is happening right now in the auditorium, and martial art classes that run throughout the day. Last year, I took an opportunity to do a community survey for our communities and our students and our participants, just to find out more of what are they looking for, what's their interest, what can we bring to our community center. And the feedback that I received was chair yoga and another martial art class. So I have done my research and I have successfully bought a chair yoga instructor, and she's so amazing. And I also took an opportunity to speak with our current instructor to start with a kickboxing class. So that class is growing each session, so I'm very excited about that. And one of the most exciting collaboration has been with the Parkside Preschool, which is next door to us. Soccer Stars is one of our contact classes, and they decided to offer their class to align with the preschool student schedules at Parkside. So we currently have 17 kids from Parkside that signed up for Soccer Stars that is happening right outside of the classroom. This is out in the field. It's very exciting for them. We just had our first annual of the Tweet Walk back in October, back on Halloween, and about 150 people attended, and they're all dressed up in costumes. We've seen like a baby avocado, our seniors dressed up in skeletons. We invited like all of our contact instructors and other city departments, the Golden Heirs, the Lanatea Garden Club, and the Marin Bocce, who have set up all their tables in their garden, and they just pass out candy and promoting their community offerings. It's a really great face-to-face community with our outside resources and our tables and our ancestors. And we set up face painting and pumpkin decorating and games and a bounce house in the auditorium. And the entire library and recreation staff have made all of it possible, as well as a few local businesses that donated tons of pumpkins and candy. So we're really thankful for them. Right, we have 6 local parks that we rent out, and they are very popular for birthday parties, end of year graduations, and summer barbecues. Tennis court, we have 4 tennis courts at Albert Park, and with 2 lines for pickleball and 2 tennis courts at Freitas Park. The courts are open to the public, and it is first come, first served. Albert Field, we have 13 different baseball and softball organizations that rented Albert Field, including the Pacific, San Rafael Little League, Marine Academy, Marine Baseball, a senior league, and a co-ed league. These organizations rent the field from Marsh Platform. Facility renters. So the center down at the community center, that might be open to the public 5 days a week during our business hours 9 to 5. But with our weekend renters and evening classes, the community center is operating 7 days a week. Most days from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we have ongoing renters that meet here, including church on Sundays, 8 a.m. Tuesday evenings, blood class, blood drive, and a variety of different organizations that use that space for monthly meetings and board meetings and meetups. Yeah, so our community center is continuing to bring in new recreation programs, collaboration, and serve as a space for those that are celebrating their special day. And I have received quotes from like a few participants stating that this community center is a safe space for them, and this community center is a second home. Thank you.
I'm Christina Farhang. I am the program coordinator over at the Terralinda Community Center. While I'm new to this role, I'm not new to the pool space. And I'll get into that a little bit later on. Starting with the community center, we have many rentals that we have that are ongoing and just periodic rentals. Within the community center, we have Jazzercise, that is one of our ongoing rentals. We also have Seneca and Marine Bonsai. Those are just some of many others. Those are a few of the bigger ones that we have that are ongoing. Along with the park rentals, those are bigger, more in the summer when it's better weather and all that, birthday parties and just different events that are happening out in the park. In about programs, we have different youth, adult, and older adult programs. For youth, we have Taekwondo, Soccer Stars, which is offered at a couple of our different facilities, and Little Angels, which is more of mommy and me kind of class with the littles, and that just keeps growing each week. They offer a drop-in, which is great for a lot of families if they don't want to sign up for the full session. And for adult, we ceramics is kind of our biggest program that goes for kids and adults. Nadia Zaccardi runs an amazing program over there. She has won many awards in Marin and all of that, and she just continues to grow and has now opened a different studio for some of her other members to continue there. But they just continue to grow and grow. And some other adult programs we have are many exercise programs. We have a stretch and balance class that is also offered here, and we also have a Pilates class. Bridge is one of our big classes that now the instructors are running games and different classes for people to learn how to play bridge, which is new and doing really well. And for our older adults, we have our TL Seniors program, which meets weekly, and they play bingo, they do luncheons, and they have their own little community that they have, which is great. And in terms of special events, we do our annual Movies in the Park event. And I'm hoping to bring in some new events that align with the holidays in the coming year. And just with the timing of everything, it was kind of hard to plan for this year. So we're hoping to bring in some new stuff next year. And aquatics. So we have a variety of different programs that we offer for aquatics. For swim lessons, we have group lessons and private lessons. For private lessons, we have some lessons that people can sign up online to have an instructor just one-on-one, or they can request a certain instructor if there's one that they have worked with in the past, they want to continue with, that's an option as well. The aquatic aid program, which is near and dear to my heart, that's how I got my start in aquatics. It is a volunteer program for kids entering 6th grade and to entering 9th grade is the age range that we take for aquatic aids. They are working alongside swim instructors and kind of learning the ropes of what it takes to be a swim instructor, learning those fundamentals, and hopefully we're hoping that feeds into us hiring them. So it's a really great program. Junior Guards is similar with that. It is they learn the fundamentals of what it takes to be a lifeguard, learning different lifeguard skills, they can shadow lifeguards. And again, we're hoping that that kind of funnels them into wanting to apply work for us and helping them build those skills to have a summer job. Water Gym is another big program. They are such a great group of participants, and they're always so happy, and they're one of my favorite groups to work with. And they usually have around 18 to 20 participants per class. It really just depends, but they kind of have a solid group that comes each week in the summers. And our master swim program, who is run by Susie Dodds. She's one of our swim instructors as well, and she runs a really great master swim program. We also have the Orca swim team that continues to do great. We've had a really wonderful partnership with them, and they use the pool, and that is their home base for their swim season. So we love working with them. And we also have some ongoing different rentals in terms of pool parties, and we do have a classroom that is on the pool deck that is rentable as well. And that's a great space for people who want some air conditioning, it's a hot day, and we were trying to make that kind of a bigger deal. Red Cross trainings, we offer about 10 lifeguard classes a year. We're hoping to make that more. Our issue with that is that we need more lifeguard instructors. At the moment, I am one of the only ones that's a lifeguard instructor on our team, so I'm hoping to be able to get some more of our staff certified. And we also teach babysitting classes. We've had about 6 of those this year. We hope to offer more. We need more people to be able to teach these classes. And our staff, we've done a really good job of retaining our staff. We don't have to do a whole lot of hiring this year, which is great. We just kind of have to hire a handful of lifeguards, but right now we're pretty fully staffed. And our extended pool season, we're open through the end of November this year, and we hope to open in early February. So each year we're trying to get our swimmers more and more lap swim space, because that's really what we're seeing, is that the lap swimmers want more and more time. So we know the need is there, and we're trying to give them as much as we can. It just kind of depends on staffing, especially in the off seasons. So I think that's about it for me.
My name is Gabriela Farias, and I'm with the Child Care Division. I'm the Senior Recreation Supervisor there. Also been in the position, but not new to the city. So the Child Care Division with the City of Center Falls came to be in 1963. Just haven't been around much. But it's been around for a while. And it began as a single preschool program housed here in the Center Falls Community Center. It has expanded over the years, and we now have 2 preschools and 5 school-age sites. We have a presence in the Miller Creek School District with our after-school programs at Lucas Valley, Mary Silvera, and Vallecito elementary schools, and we support after-school programming in the San Rafael School District via our Children's Center at Glenwood Elementary and our Parkside program that receives kids from Savannah. Parkside also houses one of our preschool programs, and our other preschool program is the Pickleweed preschool program that's adjacent to the Borough Community Center, and it serves the Canal community there. We also have a robust summer camp program that served 1,453 kids last year. It's a lot of fun. We take the kids on weekly field trips, weekly swim trips. We're open from 8 to 5:30. I think it's one of the most fun programs that we have. I love doing it for several years. So that's our summer camp program. And our division currently employs 22 permanent full-time staff and 59 temp seasonal staff. Many of those temp seasonal staff are young adults that once attended our programs as children. We have some of our camp kids working here in the room now. Looking at Christina. And another fun fact is that the Child Care Division can boast that we have the city employee with the most seniority among all city employees, and that's Trisha Cerruti Sailors. And she has been at Vallecito for 42 years and counting. Yeah. So it's pretty proud. We get to brag. I know. We all do the same thing. There are a few challenges that we're facing in the Child Care Division right now. Unfortunately, our Pickleweed program that is fully state funded did lose our first 5 funding. So we are actively seeking other grant sources to make up that loss. We are also in a state of transition with our site supervisor there and are currently recruiting to hire someone that will hopefully be the right match to stick it out for the long haul. It's a wonderful program out there. If you ever get a chance to visit the Pick Week program, it's really impressive. And it serves a great need. And I believe it's the only preschool program in the canal. So it serves a great need. But overall, the childcare division continues to adapt and meet the needs, the ever evolving needs of our community. So, and that's the childcare division. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it over to Jason Fong, our youth program coordinator.
Thank you, Commissioners. Jason Fong, Program Coordinator for Youth Enrichment. Youth Enrichment still going strong on the 6 school sites that we offer our after-school classes. Those schools are Coleman, Glenwood, and Sun Valley here in the Santa Fe City School District. And then the Miller Creek School Districts is Lucas Valley, Mary Silvera, and Vallecita. Everything's been pretty much steady. Like there hasn't been any much fluctuation. Revenue's been good. I actually increased my revenue by $3,000. I was like, hey, $3,000 win. I'll take it. Participation numbers have remained the same. The only thing that has changed is contract instructors. So currently I'm working with 22 contract instructors across the board to provide their expertise in classes on campuses. Some new ones that I'm proud of is I'm partnered with Talent Nook. They're a company based out of Dublin, and they have gone out and found all these various education specialists. So we've got Math Marvel, we've got cinematography, so it's Cinecraft Kids, so the kids get to create movies and figure out the editing. There's a Money Matters, fun finance for kids that we've started. So so it's been a great, to see all these new programs kind of coming to life and getting our families to participate. And then when I'm not doing that, running around this week, it's been pretty crazy. I've literally had to be at 5 or 6 schools every single day, kind of making sure everything's running and all the children are showing up to programs and instructors are showing up. I want to do a big shout out to Darcy and her admin team here for the support, because when I'm roaming about, it's been a challenge. So thank you guys. Yeah. And then I help support Gabby whenever I can with childcare facilities, the contracts for, maintenance and so forth, as well as subbing when we need to sub.
We do it all.
We do it all. Right? We do it all. But other than that, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you.
So I think, even though we always support each other, we do often get in our silos, and when you compile all of the different programs and enrichment activities like you have in your attachment, it's an impressive amount of things we offer to the community and with our classes and programs. So does anybody have any questions for any of us while we're sitting there?
I don't have a question, but I know how much work it takes to get all these programs and facilities off the ground, and it is an impressive list. To your point, Steve, it's a lot. Teaching lifeguarding, it's a thing. Great job. That's really impressive. I really fun to hear everything. I see this list.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, behind each thing where you're like, yeah, that one line there, I go like, oh yeah, I've been at enough meetings to know everything it takes for that one little line there. So it's a lot. Yeah, thank you.
So I have a question on the childcare presentation. So are we with the need for funding, is there like a deadline that we have in place for when we need this, like when we need to replace that grant funding with something else?
So we're okay for this year that's coming up, so we're in a good position to carry on for the next year or so, but we don't want to wait too.
I think I'll add to that, Gabby. The Pickle Week preschool program right now, we rely heavily on, it's called California State Preschool Program funding. That funds about 74% of our overall operating expenditures. The last several years, we've received the first 5 Marin grant that chipped in about another, 20-ish, 22% of our overall operating expenditures. And then we've received some other small buckets of funding through just some kind of stopgap grants through counties. There's a CDBG Community Development Block Grant Fund that we received through the city in the past. And, you know, that first 5 grant, we've talked with them, and essentially it is a very competitive group right now that's looking for funding, and they have actually received less funding as an organization that they can then disperse than they have historically. And so this year, thankfully, in the last couple of years, actually one of the silver linings of COVID is that we received some ARPA funding and some one-time payments from the state of California to help support the preschool program. That's given us a little bit of a reserve. We feel confident that we're going to be in good shape for this fiscal year and potentially into next fiscal year. However, we kind of see that cliff, right? And we want to make sure that we found some sustainable funding for the program to make sure we can continue to provide the service level as we have them. And so that's really important looking forward. That is something we're actively looking at as a sustainable. It's a good question.
I guess I'd just like to echo, I mean, I know we all appreciate the presentation. I thought the video was really nice as well. We don't often get to see the real people that get to benefit from the things you guys do. So I just thought that was really nice to have that. And I like this new, just on the record, I like this new format. Put together. When I think, so thank you guys. I guess at this point,
Sorry, I'm going to pause because I actually want to, I was going to share a little bit of additional information if you'll indulge me for just a minute. I want to celebrate this team because they do such a great job. One of the things that I asked our supervisors to do was for us to take a moment, kind of brainstorm and really think about all the things we did. And you heard a lot about the programs that this group provided. There's a lot of incredible accomplishments that are baked into that staff report, as well as what you saw in the video and what was shared. But I just want to remind everyone that our childcare team won Team of the Year for 2023, which we celebrated in 2024. One of our employees in our department, Nina Som, who's a custodian, was celebrated as Employee of the Year in fourth quarter 2023, but he also was nominated as Employee of the Year for 2023. That's a huge accomplishment that with a city team of 400 plus employees to get that recognition. So we hired and recruited dozens of permanent and temporary employees. We celebrated some departures. Kelly Albrecht, one of our senior supervisors, was with us and retired last year after many years with the city. Had promotions. We welcomed people back to our team who had been with us previously, both Patty and Christina. One of our facility attendants was promoted to custodian, Carlos Aguilar. We have all this team. I'm not sure, but before we started recording, there was some laughter in the room because it's a really fun group. And the city, we have a lot of really fun events, and a lot of that work that goes into helping create this really positive, fun culture and place to work is pulled off by this team. They hosted bocce ball tournaments for our employees, kickball tournaments, really helping to just make sure that our employees feel, special and welcome here and celebrated for the work they do. So kudos to this group for all the work that you've done to not only help our community, but help our employee team. Steve Mason was recognized by his colleagues in our California Park and Recreation Society of the CPRS Hero, which is well deserved. And I could go on and on about a lot of their programs and activities. So there's so many things for us to celebrate as a team. I'm so thankful that we have this group that's pulling off all this new support. So just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge them. That's it.
I guess now we are opening discussion to in-person public comment. Seeing no one in public, close public comment and request a motion and a second on this agenda. Motion received.
Okay. Is that you, Ariel, a second? Okay, thank you. Okay, Chair Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales,
Yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
and Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion approved.
Thank you. Next agenda item is 3B, review of the draft 2025 Park and Rec Commission work plan.
Right, give me just a moment. I'm going to pull that up. So annually, we bring to you a proposed set of agenda items based on what we think our work plan will look like for the calendar year. And that's what I'm gonna pull up here. Where I put it.
I like all those files.
I feel like you did that to impress us.
Fred's brain.
My predecessor's brain is, oh, look, I'm in it as well, so. I'll share the screen. I want to take a moment just to give you an idea of what we're thinking. This is subject to changes. I think as we get closer to each of these meetings, we will likely need to shuffle some things around. And we are always open to recommendations from any of you, the commission. If there are other things that you would like us to see, I think a great example of that is last year as we reviewed the work plan, one of the recommendations was that you wanted an annual update on our citywide park and recreation master plan. And so we were able to develop a report that was brought to you last year. And that was helpful for us on our end as a great way to track those projects. And it seems like that was also well received. So we're always very open to suggestions if you have on the way you'd like to see info, how things are working, if we want to restructure things, as well as when some of those may need to fall. There's operationally, there are some things that we just need to line up and make sure that we bring to you to get feedback in sequence of the way the projects are going. So that's why some of these are placed the way they are, but some of them are also very so just to kind of walk through this, here we are today on January 16th. Next month, we're hoping to bring you an update on the Terralina Park and Community Center enhancement plan. We are making great progress there, as well as bring you some reports on some of the partnership agreements we have. In the report today, we're really focused on our programs that we were providing direct or contracting for. We have a lot of other partnership agreements that require those groups to come to you and present an annual report. So you'll see several examples of that here with Marin Bocce, the Golden Airs, our Santa Barbara softball, and several others later. March. We are hoping to bring you, this is one that may need to move just based on project timing, but an update on the design of the Pickleweed Preschool facility improvements that we've been working on, as well as the Measure A work plan, which really kind of lines up a lot of our capital improvements for the fiscal year. In April, we'd be focusing on the Pickleweed Advisory Committee annual report, as well as our one of our biannual parks maintenance and project updates. In May, we may be looking at some updates on trails, existing conditions, and feasibility study. We are continuing to scope out that project right now in collaboration with our fire department. That is hoping to build that scope of work into one of the contracts that we're working on this fiscal year. We'd love to do an on-site park tour. That's been really successful the last couple of years. We're hoping by that point in time, we may have some significant updates at Pickleweed Park as well as Peacock Gap Park. Peacock Gap is, we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for January 23rd. We hope to get into construction in February to the playground and the pathway improvement project there. And Pickleweed Park is under construction. We've shared that the last couple of updates, but we're making really good progress. Still hoping to get a little more clarity on when we think that project will be done. So, we may need to shuffle that park tour around a little bit, but we'd love to show off hopefully some completed projects. Or potentially go to other parks. If you would like to see other locations or hear more about other parks, we'd be happy to tour those. Have some open space in July. Typically, we are dark in August. As we get into the fall, we are hoping to maybe look at some updates on our tennis courts. The Pacifics program report. We are entering a new agreement with the Pacifics. So we hopefully be bringing you an update on how that season went. And as we get later into the year, some of these are routine November reports or agenda items where we would be selecting the chair for the year, reviewing the meeting schedule for the upcoming year, and then that annual citywide park and recreation master plan update that I mentioned before. We would likely be looking to bring that to you. So, and again, a lot of this can change. I think there's some things that are on here as placeholders for us to kind of track and start to think about when they're going to be coming. But I think with that, I just open it up to any questions or comments from you or ideas of what you would maybe like to see us.
Pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the park tours were great and that was great to add some additional to that. What's the difference in the April maintenance and park maintenance and projects biannual status report and the master plan update? Is there gonna be a significant difference in those?
Yeah, I think that, you know, what we brought to you last year, really, the Park and Recreation Master Plan update is going to be focused not only on capital projects. It's also going to be looking at the policy decisions that we make, and I think that's one of the key distinctions. The biannual report, when we talk with our parks team and our public works team, we're really going to be bringing you more updates that are broad. It's going to be like some of the smaller maintenance, right? Maintenance projects that are happening in the parks, improvements that we're seeing there that maybe aren't reflected in the citywide plan, but we think are important, and we want to make sure that the public's aware of, that you're aware of. And we think that a biannual cycle for that probably makes sense. I think that you're also going to see some of the capital improvements that are in the citywide plan reflected there. So there might be a little bit of duplication, but I think that the citywide report in November is really going to be taking an annual look at where are we at in our 160 plus recommendations in that report. How many have we accomplished? What are we recommending for the near term moving forward? And then where are we at with maybe some of the long term? I think that's not only important for this group to hear, but for community members. We actually, after we presented that in November of last year, heard from several community members that it was helpful to kind of see how we're prioritizing projects. Other members were saying, hey, we want to advocate for this to happen sooner because now we see that this project's maybe not happening until 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And that's a really great tool for us to be able to communicate to the community where we're at and have a realistic conversation about how we are prioritizing this.
Given that feedback, are you still contemplating moving it earlier in the year or keeping it November?
I think an annual cycle makes sense. We just did that in November of 24, so I would expect we'd probably do that later in the year, but be very open to suggestions if you'd like to see that.
I don't have strong opinions. I'm just. It's once a year. Any other commissioner comments, questions?
I'd like to know or get like an update on the, facility upgrade here. And where, like, I'd love to at some point get like a check-in on like what the plan is and how that's going.
I anticipated that might be something that you wanted. And that's a great survey. The reason that's not showing up here right now is because that would probably be, we would probably drop that down here at the end. You have other agenda items to be added based on when we have a little more information. There is a new website that we set up. So if you go to the city's webpage, it's City of San Rafael /Measure P. We have some information we put on the website to try to help answer community questions about the Measure P project. What is it? What's the scope of work we're looking at? And to give folks an idea of when that project may be happening. And we're just not quite ready to answer the question of, well, when is this outreach project going to start? When are we going to start getting into design development? We definitely will be bringing you an update when we're ready. And we're going to need the Park and Rec Commission to be involved in that project for sure. So it's possible that might pop up this year. We'll definitely keep you posted on the next.
Thank you. I now open it up to in-person public comment and close public comment. I'd like to request a motion and a second on this agenda. Also,
okay, so we will. Sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say, Becky, can we do a roll call?
Yes. Chair Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales.
Yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez
Yes.
and Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 4 is the staff liaison report.
Yeah, so we shared a lot of great information already today. I'm gonna keep this relatively short, but I did want to give you an update that, the downtown library renovations they're ongoing, they're moving forward. We've been working with, a great construction crew, contract manager. They have found a couple surprises. It's an old building, so, we're not too surprised to find surprises, but they're continuing to kind of work through some of those. We do believe we're still on track, on schedule, to wrap that project up this spring, so, moving forward. But we've had really great response to the pop-up library downtown on 4th Street. I mentioned Measure P already, but again, there is a web page up if people have information, so I direct everyone to our website for more information about that project. Chair Linda, enhancement plan, as I mentioned, we're going to be coming to you next month with an update, as well as some concept plans and an idea of next steps for that project. But we will be adding information to our kind of social media, the newsletter, to make sure that everyone's aware of how they can stay involved and hear updates on that project. We got really great response due to the first 2 rounds of outreach we did last year, and we're hopeful we'll continue to have a really good response as we hopefully wrap that project. Our goal is to, pending the final round of outreach, updating you, we would like to bring a recommendation to City Council this spring so that we can move forward. I mentioned Peacock Ave Park. We're excited that we're moving into construction. Boyd Park, we are in final permitting. I'll refresh your memory there. We're going to be putting in some temporary play equipment at the play area. We are really close to getting to a point where we can move forward with that project. And we should be able to start construction and wrap that up this year. And Pickleweed Park, it's a big project. There's a lot of work going on down at Pickleweed Park around the community center. So if you haven't been down there recently, there's a lot of activity going on. I know I was thinking about the preschool. They're in the process right now of demoing fence, and they're doing concrete work. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of things going on down there, and I know the kids are.
It could be a little exciting. There's moments where they're on that, which is kind of nice actually. But then after the rumbling is the 10th hour, you're like, okay, we're over it.
In fact, Stephen and I today, we're running out of our office, we thought we were having an earthquake. Anyways, tractors being building.
That project, we similar to the library project, we do believe we're on track to stay on schedule. And there's a lot that can still change with a project of the scope, but right now we're hearing that we still should be able to open most of the amenities, the field, the sports board, the gazebo play areas by this summer. I think that we're hopeful we'll be able to celebrate that in a really big way. We'd love to invite the community to a ribbon cutting ceremony, invite you to be there as well. We're going to hone in on that date probably in the next month or 2. It's one of those things where there's a little bit of a moving target, but we would love to really make sure that that's celebrated as a huge success for the city and for the community. So we'll keep everyone posted. Also wanted to share that the Downtown Centerville Art District, that is a group that receives some California Arts Council funds to support public art. They just released an RFP. There is a request for proposal for a project implementer to develop several new public art installations or exhibits on public land here in the city. They want to use some of the grant funding that they've received to really work on placemaking, maybe work on some gateway improvements, work on beautifying the downtown Centerville district. So they are in that ballpark of around $200,000 worth of art improvements. And so there's an RFP that's out right now. We're looking for a project implementer. If any of you know anyone that might be in the art world or interested in taking on a project of that scope, we'd love to work with a local firm or group that might have that skill set and really understand some of those. So lots of cool momentum in the art world in Centerville right now. You might have noticed several of the downtown businesses have some new murals. There's a Civic Wave installation that was put up. There's art in front of the library. Canal Alliance has 2 new murals that were installed. The Boro mural that was installed in the community center. We're also working loosely with the Multicultural Center of Marin. They're going to be working on some mural improvements to next year. So really cool to see so much art. And, like this is one example where I could probably talk so much more about all their cool programs that are coming up in 2025, but I'm gonna cut it short. So that's the end of the report.
Two questions. How's the bike rental thing going?
Oh, that's great. How is it going? I think there's several new stations that have been put here in front of the community center, the Rural Community Center. I've seen several others throughout town. Any feedback?
Yeah, I don't like actually see people taking them and bringing them back, but they're always constantly like somewhere else. So I mean, it's getting used, which is cool.
It's down by the playground, so we don't see it often. So I'm not sure. I mean, they're always restocking them. So we always supply it.
Putting you on the spot for anecdotal evidence over here.
As soon as a bike leaves, another one shows up.
The very first
So,
day you
yeah.
actually saw it happen, right? Yeah.
So they're really on top of changing them out, like.
Yeah, I am not certain. I would have to check with some of our other colleagues in the city whether there's any metrics where we're tracking, how many uses they get, how long they're being used, where people are going, kind of where bikes are coming and going. I believe that some of that data is being collected. I think TAM is involved in that project, as well as our city's building office, our public works department. So I'd be happy to check with them and see if we can keep
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to hear if there's an update on the timeline for the wetlands, the restoration project, the Audubon.
Yeah, so the Dysphoria Marsh Restoration, that is the Audubon Society that's leading that project in partnership with the city. It is on city land. The last update that we heard from our Public Works Department is that they believe that project should be ready to start construction in fall of 2025. I think there's still a little bit of work that they're doing to lock in those dates, but we're starting to, we're gonna need to partner with them, partner with Public Works to really make sure that that work doesn't have a strong impact on our programs, on the brand new field, the brand new amenities we're putting in. We've been talking with that group, the design team, extensively to coordinate how these two projects really needs to align effectively. So it's been a lot of work put into that. That project is going to take several years to complete. It is going to be phased. I believe the first phase is the installation of kind of piling up the levee wall itself. That's going to be some heavy earth movement. That's going to be taking place. Some more excitement for the kids to be watching. And then
but they have a new fence to look at. Okay.
They have to let it settle. There's some kind of sequencing that they need to do it right. And I am not an expert in that. I'll leave that up to the engineers, but it is going to take several years for them to wrap that project up before we can get to a point where there's, we're going to wind up with a really beautiful pathway on top of the levee wall that wraps around the perimeter of the field. And I'm really excited for how that view is going to shape up. I think that's going to become a really desirable walking space and then. Yeah, but to answer your question the short way, fall of 2020.
Thank you. I'd like to now open up the in-person public comment. And what is the in-person public comment? Let's see, the next agenda item is commissioner reports. Any commissioner reports? Yes, now we can move to adjourn. So the meeting is, you have to move for adjourn. Right? All right, the meeting is adjourned at the time of 7:10 p.m.
Thanks, Becky.
You lost her.
I'm here. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
See you soon.